Hello, Jacked Gamer Nerds. Today we're playing Kerbal Space Program, and I'm going to do a career mode tutorial for complete beginners. So here in the Start New Game, you want to click Career. Obviously, you want to give it a little name, right? We're going to call it Career Tutorial. Hello, Gene Kerman. He's greeting us to the flight director and the guide for this quick introduction. Well, basically what he's going to say is, this is the Space Center. We have a couple buildings here. The ones most important to us at the moment are the Mission Control Building, the Vehicle Assembly Building. To start, we're going to go into the Mission Control Building. We're going to click and accept 2 contracts. We're going to get gather scientific data from Kerbal. We're going to get launch our first vessel. Now these 2 contracts, they're very simple to achieve. We're just going to do some crew reports, we're going to gather some science, and we're just going to launch our first vessel. We'll bang both of them out in one go. So we're going to leave this facility, and we're going to enter the Vehicle Assembly Building. Here in the Vehicle Assembly Building, we have Werner von Kerman, and essentially he's going to tell us how to move around. First off, to move, we need to select a cockpit. We only have the one at the moment, but to go, we can move around by right-click, spin around. We could zoom up and down with scroll wheel. Then we could zoom in and out with shift scroll wheel. Pretty much it. Those are the controls. We have a library of parts here on the left. We have a couple buttons down here that aren't so important for building rockets. To start, we are going to slap an engine on there. This will go up. When it comes, it'll come down too, with a big explosion, because we need something called the parachute. Over here on the right, we have our staging. We want to make sure that they're not on the same stage, or they will deploy at the same time, right? So we have the booster in stage 1, and then stage 0 we have the parachute. That's exactly how we want it. This is not how we want it. If something like this happens, what you do is you click this plus, you drag down one, and you can drag them up. Now, this rocket's almost complete, but we need some science. We are going to slap a couple science on there. A couple science containers. These are the mystery goo. This is the first science experiment we have access to. And then we're going to throw some basic fins on there in order to stabilize the whole craft. Now we also have some other tools up here, like the move tool, which allows us to offset these parts. Well, that's not so important. We also have rotate, but those aren't so important at the moment. We're building our first vessel. Up here, you'll notice we also have some more buttons. We have the crew button, where we have access to 4 Kerbals. Jebediah Kerman is a pilot, Bill Kerman is an engineer, and Bob Kerman is a scientist. Valentina Kerman is also another pilot. So the pilots do the same thing. They have access to stability control. The scientist can reset the science experiments and reuse them, and the engineer repairs things. Well, we're just going to stick with Jebediah for our first flight. Now, this is the first vessel. So up here, we're going to click launch. Alrighty. Here at the launch pad, we have Jebediah in the bottom right here, and we have our SAS. We can toggle the nav ball, whether we want it or not. We can toggle it off right now, so we have more screen available. Then we have our staging on the left if we need to quickly fix our staging if we somehow messed it up in the Vehicle Assembly Building, but we didn't, because we're pros. Right now, we need to gather science. So, the crew pit, the cockpit, has something called a crew report, which will always, and can always be done. A crew report from Launchpad. So each biome has its own science to be had. So if we were on the runway, it'd be crew report from runway. Different science. Your record, you record the crew's assessment of the situation. We're going to keep the experiment, or we could transmit it, because we're so close. But we're just going to keep the experiment for now. And then we can EVA, and we are going to take that data and take an EVA report. Now, EVA report is always a good idea if you can get one. It's just more science. And now we can board. And because we've taken the science out of the cockpit, we can take another crew report when we're flying in the air. Now, we're also going to observe the mystery goo. Mystery goo from Launchpad. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. So we're going to toggle the nav ball. We're going to press T to enable SAS, where we can click on it. And we're going to head, if you press M, you open up the map, by the way. We're going to land in the water so we can get more science. So we're going to launch with space. We are going to observe the mystery gill. We're going to take another crew report. Up here, we have messages. We've broken the speed record. We've launched our first vessel, and whatnot. You can see all the milestones. We can discard that. We completed this contract. We completed another contract. Very nice. Did we already take it? Yeah, we already did. All right, perfect. So up here we have the warp. We can control the warp with the comma and period keys, those little arrows, or we can click up here. For the sake of viewing, we're going to click up there. We're also going to click our airship. So we slow down here. Very nice. We're going to speed up the landing here. Now that we are splashed down in water, because we're in a new biome, we can collect more science. Mystery goo observation from Kerbin's water. The goo escapes into the water. And we're going to EVA and get an EVA report. Report from Kerbin's water. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? Then we're going to take the data from the cockpit. We're going to board. We're going to take another crew report. Crew report from Kerbin's water. You record the crew's assessment of the situation. Very nice. Now we can recover the vessel up here. Back at the Space Center, we see a mission summary for our spacecraft. We didn't give it a name. But we see that we earned 31 science. We recovered most of the parts. We got 3,558 funds from recovered parts. And we can see that Jebediah has gained 1 XP. To finish off the first tutorial, we're going to go to the research and development, where we will be able to spend our science points. So we have this whole tree of varying nodes, and each node is more expensive. So we start with 5, 18, 45, 90, 160, 300, 550. It goes up all the way to 1,000. But to start off small, we have basic rocketry, and we have engineering 101. Now with these, we unlock new parts, such as the thermometer, the decoupler, a bigger booster, a fuel tank, and an engine. And we have leftover science, so we're going to be able to get survivability, which gives us the heat shield, and the barometer, which allows us to conduct more science. We still have more science, so we're able to unlock stability, where we get the radial decoupler, and the winglet, and an aerodynamic nose cone. In the next episode, we will unlock general rocketry and basic science, advanced rocketry, and aviation. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Stay jacked, stay gaming. I'll see you in the next one.